Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another series I'm going to be starting on this channel called Blade's Advice Corner. Maybe I'll change it. I don't know. Depends on I think more so if I think of a better name. But right now I'm thinking of Blade's Advice Corner. And as it is, I talked about this actually on I think March Comes Like a Lion episode 14. I talked at the very end of something that I've been wanting to do on this channel for a long time, and it's something I've wanted to do because it's something that I think I'm decent at, but also a lot of people tell me I'm great at it, and it's not that I'm trying to pat myself on the back for doing this or anything like that, but more so because I've kind of always wanted to do this. So one thing I do in real life, I do on Twitter or Facebook, etc., and many people know me for it, is that, they ask me for advice on things. I've always kind of been one of those people that people come to for advice, and, I always try to give them things that I feel is the correct way of doing it. I always tell people, though, that advice is like anything else. It might work for you, it might not, and like I'm going to say this in this video, actually, also, I'll say it right now so I don't say it later, but when I say something like this, like I give you guys advice, and you guys and girls in general advice, take it with a grain of salt. It might not work for you, it might not apply to you, it might not be something that you can use, or maybe you can only use some of it and incorporate that into your life. But what I'm saying is to be something that I feel worked for someone else or worked for me personally in my personal life, etc. So, understand that, hey, your miles may vary when it comes to this. You might be able to use this 100%. You might not be able to use it at all. So, always understand that. But hopefully, what I do say to you guys, maybe someone out there hears it and maybe it can kind of make their day better, or maybe they can incorporate it into their lives and realize, oh, I never thought about it like that. Now, like I said before, people have always said that I've been good at that, and it's not just because I think that I am great at giving advice. It's not that. It's more so it's something that when I tell people something or when I talk to people, I try to do my best to not just talk at them, but listen to what they're telling me and give advice that I feel actually works for them in that scenario. So, with a lot of these actual talks, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to try to give you guys and girls advice that I feel works for not only just me and something that I would do for myself, but something that I've seen maybe others try to do, or maybe something that I've told other people to do that it's really worked for them. I will try to steer you guys in the right direction in that sense. But like I said, it's definitely something that you don't have to watch these videos. There are videos I'm doing only because I've been asked to do them before in the past, actually, ironically enough, and I've never thought of doing them because I'm like, I've always kind of had mixed feelings about doing videos like this on this channel, but because I know they're very different from my anime reviews and anime talks, etc. But the thing is that I've been asked to do this before, and I kind of want to see how it goes. I want to try it out. So, for the very first Blade's Talk Corner or Vice Corner or whatever I'm going to name it, I think I'm going to go with Blade's Advice Corner. If you guys have better names for it, though, please leave in the comments, tell me. And also, definitely do this, please. If you like these videos, please hit the like button, please subscribe to the channel, please share these videos, leave in the comments your thoughts and opinions, or maybe topics you want to be discussed on this, because definitely I need to see how everyone interprets this and that kind of reacts to it, because if you guys don't like it, I won't do any more of the channel. Maybe I'll make a separate channel for it. I'm not sure yet. I really don't want to make a separate channel, but we'll see what happens. Now, the first topic, if you saw from the title, I want to talk about is depression. I think that this is a major good concept to start off with because it's something that I feel hits everyone, and I think people react to it very differently. By the way, these videos will never be super long. They might be like maybe 10 to 15 minutes long. I'll try to never make them longer than that, but, we'll try to just kind of just talk briefly about something and then just kind of what my advice would be to deal with that. That's how kind of the ebb and flow of these kind of videos will go. So, with depression, I want to say this first and foremost. Depression is not a disease, at least at heart. Depression is something that every single person on the face of this planet will be hit with something at some time or another. You will have a moment where you feel depressed or sad. Something, maybe watching a video, maybe some loss of someone in your family, maybe loss of someone in your life, maybe a loss of a girlfriend, maybe a loss of a boyfriend, etc., whatever. That will cause a depression in you. Regardless if you think you're stronger and you're like, oh, I'm perfectly fine, I'm not going to have any problems like that, it's going to affect you. That's how we were built as humans. We were built to kind of have emotions with how things react to us, how we feel about certain situations and scenarios. So don't ever feel bad. Don't ever think, oh man, I'm suffering from a disease now. I have depression. Yeah, there are versions of diseases that are depressing, like bipolar disease, which, there are versions of that which are just depression instead of like anger or anything else like that. It's depression. It's the sense that you go from very happy to depressed very easily. That is a kind of disease. That's a mental, imbalance. But in many ways, this, depression is a mental imbalance, but the thing is that it's not a disease. It's something that afflicts everyone. And the thing is that people go, oh, you're always positive about things. You don't seem like you get depressed. Hell, I get depressed. Every person in my family gets depressed about something. My friends get depressed about something. I'm not immune to that. I just handle it differently. And so one thing I want to tell you guys, and kind of, it's not going to be like, I want to say steps to kind of avoid depression, because there's no way to avoid depression. It's something that will hit you at one point or another. But there are ways to deal with it that make it so you can keep moving on. And the thing is that, yeah, you might have this, I want to say, like, for example, me, if I get depressed, it's not that you'll ever see, like, on my face, like, oh, I look depressed. You'll see me maybe being upset about something, or maybe deep in thought about something. But I don't let it get to me to the point that I can't move or can't walk or do anything like that. It's just something that will be on my mind. And the thing is that I'll get upset about it, I'll get sad about it, because hey, I'm emotional like that. I can do that. And the thing is, like, anyone else can do that. And the thing is, just make sure though that you handle it in a way that works for you. Don't let yourself ever get to a point, that in your life at least, where you're so full of depression and you're so sad and just all over the place and just how your emotions are, and you like either bottle them up or don't let them get out there. That's where things get dangerous. That's where people do very stupid things and very violent things, and they can't return from that. But don't be afraid to let out. Don't be afraid to talk to people. I know people are afraid, like, they think, as I'm like this in many ways too, is that you don't want to bother someone. You don't want to tell them, oh, I don't want to talk to them about my feelings or emotions right now, or what I'm dealing with. No, don't be. Listen, your true friends will always be there for you, to understand and kind of listen to what's going on with you. They might not give you advice per se. Don't expect everyone to give you advice for stuff, because honestly, some of my friends, I love my friends, some of them, but the thing is that sometimes they give some very bad advice, and then some of them give great advice. But you take and choose what you feel like that's going to work for you. So just like with me, when I'm telling you guys right now, you take that for how you feel like it's going to work for you or not. But step one when you deal with depression is understand that it's something, there's a reason for it. There's something that's causing the depression in you. So maybe it's a breakup that you just had, because, like, for example, I broke up with a girl recently. I'm still sad about it. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm still sad about it. But you might not see that on my face. You might see me, well, he looks fine. He doesn't look like he's crying or anything. No, because the thing is that I have to move on from it. I get that. I'm just saying that it's still something that lingers inside of me. It's going to linger probably for a little while. But the thing is that I don't let this stop me. I have to go do things in my life. I have responsibilities. I have things that I have to go and uphold as a person. That's why I can't just go, oh, well, I'm going to just shut myself down and stop yourself. No, but I've understood why I am upset. So make sure you first and foremost understand what's making you depressed. A lot of times people are upset and sad and depressed, but they don't know why they're actually like that. They just think, oh, I'm just depressed, I'm sad. But why? There's something in your life that's going against you. Maybe you haven't been able to find a job. Maybe, you're lonely, or, single, and you've been like that for a long time. Maybe something's on your mind and you don't realize what it is. Make sure you first identify what is bothering you. That is very important, folks. It's something that people don't do very often. They don't ever listen to themselves and go, okay, this is the problem. Currently, I'm facing a problem. What is the problem? Identify it. It is very important. Now, step two is, once you identify the problem, you have to start handling it right away. I mean, right away. So let's say you're depressed about, I don't know, you can't find a job. And I know a lot of people right now in this day and age are having problems finding jobs. It's one of the biggest things. Even I'm having problems finding a job myself. But the thing is that what you have to do is you can't give up. This is kind of step three, but I'm kind of incorporating the step two. But understand that you have to start doing something. You have to go out there, maybe look for more work, maybe find something temporary that will hold you over. That you might not want it as your ideal job, but hold you over for the time being. Because listen, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking a job on the side, for example, and then working and then finally getting your dream job or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. Just you have to hold yourself over in that case. Maybe you're single and you're lonely. Guess what? Go out there, mingle with people, go to parties. I'm not saying go to parties like extravagant parties if you don't like parties like that, but go maybe to your friends' parties, or go over to your friends' houses and stuff like that when, they have like little get-togethers. And, talk to people. Talk to you, whatever gender you're going after. And guess what? You'd be surprised how that really can change your life. You might meet some girl or you meet some guy, whatever your case is, and you might go, I like this person, and then they like you back, and then there you go. It's a relationship builds. That's how it happens. It's weird. Relationship builds from sometimes people walking down the street going, "Oh, hey, good morning," and then they turn around and say good morning back, and then there's a relationship building right there. Get out and do something. It's just the bottom line to anything that's causing depression is that you have to do something to stop it. So, for example, if you don't like your image, if maybe you think, "Oh, I'm very heavy set," or "I'm too skinny," or whatever, do something about it. Go exercise, go to gyms, join programs for workouts and stuff like that. Maybe a karate course, martial arts of some sort. There's a lot of things you could do. Just do not ever just say no, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to shut down because it's depression. Whatever is causing your depression, there can be something to be done about it. Even if you have to maybe go see a psychiatrist, an actual trained psychiatrist, not someone giving you advice, mind you, but a trained psychiatrist, they will tell you what they feel is the right course of action. And there's nothing wrong with seeing psychiatrists, folks. I haven't seen one personally, but I know plenty of my friends who have seen them, and they use them every time they can, because the thing is that that's what their job is for. That's their job, to kind of talk to them and make them understand what's going on and what they have to do. Now, step three, like I said, is never give up. One thing that depression really causes is a lot of times a lot of people give up. They just kind of shut down and let life kind of go past them because it's like, I don't know what to do now. Can't do that, folks. You have to make sure that you do not give up. That's one of the things I always tell people. Whether, it's something that there's a lot of different forms of depression. Like I said, there's a lot of different things that cause depression, of course, obviously. But you cannot give up. You have to keep pushing through. You have to keep going forward and moving forward, because you know what? You don't know. First off, I don't care who you are. You can't predict the future. You might be able to predict your concept of what you think might be happening in the future. You might have some random images of concepts that might have in the future. Maybe you're clairvoyant. You could kind of see something happening in your future or whatever. It doesn't mean that that's set in stone, okay? I just want to say that right now. What you can do for tomorrow is something for today. It's really important that people do stuff for today. Yeah, you can think of the future. You can go, oh, I'm gonna do this in the future. I'm gonna do this or that. But make sure that you're starting that process for that stuff for the future today. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to start doing something. And the thing is that if you give up because of depression, you failed. And there's no turning back. Once you give up fully and you feel you just hit this part in your life where you can't do anything anymore, it's a lot harder to get back from it. And the thing is that I've known a lot of people that like that they hit this kind of brick wall in their minds where they feel like they can't progress anymore. They're like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do that. There's no such thing. The only thing stopping you in this case is yourself. And let me tell you something, folks. I've met people of many different calibers, people that are handicapped, people that have anxieties, people that have disorders, people that have very crippling disorders. And I've always told them, hey, listen, there is nothing stopping you except you. And the thing is yeah, maybe, okay, for example, maybe you're crippled and you can't walk around very much. That doesn't mean you can't do other things. I know plenty of people that have disabilities that they can barely walk and they still try to get out. Maybe they have their parents drive them around, or maybe they have someone of their friends drive them around, or, walk them outside, etc. Or maybe they walk themselves outside to some smaller degree, whatever. They don't let themselves stop. And they always tell me the same thing. It's like, they used to think, oh, maybe like I can't do anything because I'm now crippled or whatever, and I can't move out there, I can't get out there. But no, you can't get out there because you're telling yourself that. Realistically, you can still get out there. You can still do something. And it might not be the same caliber as when someone does it, on a regular, normal basis, but it's still doing that. The point I'm getting at with this whole thing, though, is do not give up. That is very important. And the final piece of advice I give you is for depression is also be vocal about it. Talk to people. Talk to people. It's very important. This goes with everything else I give you, telling you wise what to do and what not to do. But make sure you talk to people. It's something that, I even understand this. I've had my moments where I've been sad and upset and depressed, and just like anyone in my family or any one of my friends. But the thing is that how I handle it is I talk to my friends. I tell them, hey, listen, this is happening to me. I kind of, I want to just talk about it. Or this is happening to me right now, and, do you have any advice for me? I'm not, I give advice to people. I also am not afraid to take advice. I'm 26 years old at the moment. I have not lived the earth as long as my parents or their families, etc. I am still very young. And many people, I think, forget their age. I'll be honest with you. I think many people forget their age. Like even my parents still learn from, their parents, or they, people that are older than them. And there's nothing wrong with that. You will always learn something new. Even older people that have been on this earth for 80 years, 90 years will learn something new from someone else. It's the concept that you have to talk, though. You have to be vocal and tell people. So this way you can learn something maybe about yourself, but even more so about what to do in the scenario that you're facing. Maybe, I've talked to people before that have faced something similar to me. Like maybe, for example, one of the things I faced in college was the fact that I had to take many semesters off because of various reasons. And I told people, it sucks because it's like it took me longer to finish college than a lot of other people. But the thing is that I've met people that are in their 50s and are doing what I was doing, but it took them 20 years to get to the same place that I'm doing. It took me only a couple years to get back into college and the routine of it at the time. I mean, I'm done with college now, but you understand what I mean in the sense that of the past. But they told me, hey, listen, the thing was is that they don't let them stop themselves. They felt sad about it. Sometimes they went, oh, it sucks that I had to deal with this, or it sucks that I had to wait, but I went back to college. I went and did what I had to do. And when I heard that, I'm like, you know what? Here I am, upset about this, but realistically, I shouldn't be upset because it's taking me less time than them. And kind of I'm going to say this right now. I'm not going to say this is a step per se, but this is a very old phrase that people forget, I think, a lot of times. And it's kind of scary, but it's something that's very true. When you feel yourself being depressed about something, whether it's, a relationship breakup, whether it's depression because of family, loss, or maybe something happened to you personally, understand, I hate to say it this way, but it's something that you should realize in your head, is that there's someone going through something way worse. And I know I'm not saying that to make yourself feel better, like, oh, thank God someone's going through something worse than me. No, that's not what I mean by that. What I mean by that, though, is that you realize that here you are complaining about something. Maybe it's like, oh, I broke up with a girl I loved or a guy I loved, whatever. Or, oh, I failed at this job and I have to now find a new job. Yeah, I guarantee you, though, that there's someone else out there that either failed in a relationship that was a marriage and not just a girlfriend or boyfriend routine, but actual marriage. I guarantee that there's someone that lost their job that they've had maybe 20 years of their life, 30 years of their life. You know, there's someone out there that's going through something worse. And understand that. I know it sounds, it sounds kind of scary to think like that. Like, oh, you think that maybe you're like, oh, well, the worst hasn't happened to me yet. I'm not saying to think like that, though. I'm saying more so just realize that there is someone worse out there, and you really have no reason to complain about it. And this is something I learned from my parents. This is something I learned from my friends. This is something I've seen in the world itself in my 26 years of being on this planet. Is that, people have different scenarios that happen to them. And I know my own scenarios happen, but like I just said with my story that I told you with the whole college thing, like I just said, that person was 50 years old and had to do something that was even worse than me when it came to like waiting 20 years before they can go back to college. I only had to wait several months to go back to college. And it took me, I missed a year or two of semesters, but I was back in it as soon as I could. And so, okay, yeah, maybe it took me 4 years to, 4 years longer in terms of how long it took because I had to take a shorter amount of classes, etc. But guess what? I graduated. I have a bachelor's degree. I have an associate's degree. And that means that I went through the system. I did what I had to do, and I did it at a relatively young age. I'm still in my, I'm still in my 20s, so it's not a big deal. This person's in their 50s, and they're just now going through the system and finishing their degree. It's still just finishing it. It goes to show you that they're going through something worse. I'm going to say this. I'll end this kind of discussion on this topic, everyone, is that depression is something that hits everyone. Don't ever think that you're now by yourself and you have no idea what to do. Understand that there are people around you. Be vocal about it. Be talkative. Talk to people. Because I think a lot of people want to bottle it up inside them. They don't want to tell anyone what they're going through or they're afraid to. And I'm telling you right now, folks, don't ever be afraid to tell someone else what you're going through. Yeah, they might not be able to give you advice. They might not be able to understand fully what you're getting through, so they'll only be able to sympathize with you. But there are also people out there that can empathize with you, that can actually understand because they've gone through something worse or gone through something very similar. And that will really change your life. It will be something where your moment of sadness or your moment of depression will change because that person will tell you, hey, listen, I went through that, or I had something happen to me similar, and maybe give you advice on how to deal with it. I'll say this, folks. Just don't be afraid. Don't be scared that you're facing depression because guess what? Everyone faces it. I don't care who you are. There are, well, maybe if you have like one of those diseases where your emotions are like completely destroyed, because I know some people that have that quote unquote disease, but even then, people have different things that they file, different trials and tribulations they have to go through, and when they do have to go through them, it's either they go through them alone and that's even harder to do, or they go through them with friends and family behind their back. And I'll tell you right now, you can get someone to talk to. You can go through a psychiatrist, you can go to your friends, you can go to your family, whoever you feel comfortable talking with, and talk to them. And don't be afraid to tell them what's going on in your mind. Don't be afraid to let loose on your emotions because guess what? When you do that, you'll feel refreshed. You'll be like, oh wow, when I was sad, when I had my breakup, the first thing I did was I talked to my family, I talked to my friends, I told them, hey, this sucks, I can't believe this happened to me. But guess what? They've had that happen before, and they understand it, and they've gone, hey, this is my advice we're giving you. This is our advice. You could take it or leave it. You can do whatever you want with it. And I listened to them, and I went, you know what? They're right. And I will get better. I won't stay like this forever. I won't stay like sad frame of mind, at least in my head. But the thing is that I don't let like anything else, and I told you guys advice wise with this, and this is something that I hope to God gets to everyone's ears. I don't give up. I tell people one of the best traits I have in life is I don't give up on anything. And you know, even when I might say like I give up on like something stupid like a video game or something like that's different. But I mean, in life, when something faces me down, I don't give up. And I want you guys and girls to understand that you can be like that too. You know, it's not very hard, surprisingly. It's just that you cannot let yourself stop yourself, and that's the bottom line to it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this anime, not anime related topic. I almost said anime related topic. And that's a terrible way to end it on. I hope you guys enjoyed the advice topic that I gave you guys. Like I said before, put in the description, the comments. God, messing up. Now I'm messing my own video at the end. But put in the comments below any more topics you would love to me discuss. I'll try to give you guys advice for that. They could be anything. They could be personal. They could be interpersonal. Whatever you guys have. Maybe you have some stories that your friends have gone through. Whatever. You can put those in the comments too. Whatever you guys want to do. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great, blessed day, everyone. Bye bye.